Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode on the Welsknight Patreon server. I know it's been kind of a super long time since I've come out with a video, and I apologize for that. There are numerous reasons why that's the case, and most of them boil down to either me being lazy or feeling overwhelmed by the fact that this is still, in some ways, a new season, and trying to figure out what I'm doing, where things are going, and I don't want to turn around too much because that'll spoil something I'm going to show off in the next episode. But yeah, so as you can see over here, I kind of showed off this is where my base is going to be, right here in the ocean, out in the middle of nowhere. Hello, Ocean Monument. But yeah, I am going to be doing a ton of digging and a ton of concrete making, so I've been doing a lot of resource gathering and all of that. And I've also set up this area down here, so that way I can actually finally get started on some form of construction. So I have a couple of chests down here with supplies. I finally got myself a beacon. I think that was the main thing that I was waiting for, because trying to do a lot of digging without a beacon is painful. So anyway, hopefully soon we can go ahead and get some progress made on our actual base. I don't know how much I'm going to show of that at first because it's just going to be a ton of grinding. I have six double chests of white concrete powder that will eventually need to be turned into white concrete, and a whole lot more that's going to need to be gathered. So I'm going to get on that, but in the meantime, let me go ahead and I guess go on with the rest of the episode that I had recorded probably like 3 weeks ago. Okay, anyway, roll footage. And since I am here, I'm going to go ahead and stop by the post office. So, our mail room right here. I just realized what that is. That's an envelope. Very clever. I like it. Now this, I think, was designed by Proteus primarily, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. And there's lots of space for all the different mailboxes, ringing all the way around. They also set up some redstone, so that way if somebody has mail, the lights come on. And this happens to be my mailbox, so let's go ahead and see what's inside. Well, I was not expecting that. I have no idea who gave these to me, but whoever it was, thank you. That's very fun. I appreciate that. I mean, who doesn't need a phantom head? The bucket, I don't have room for that quite yet, but I do always have need for buckets, so I will be back for that bucket, okay? Be back. Cool. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, I am finally going to head over to the market district and get my shop set up. Let's head that way and get her started. So I went ahead and got myself a little, placeholder for where my shop was going to be while I was kind of figuring out how I wanted it to look. And I happened to notice that some people have been purchasing from the shop ahead of time. So far, there's only one person I know of that I told the price of the leaves to. And so I'm going to assume it's that person, but I can't be entirely sure. But anyway, so we have our stock going right here. And I have a whole bunch of other supplies that we're going to need to construct this and so forth. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get this started. This spruce is going to go because we're not building with that today. So to make my job easier and also to advertise some of what I am selling, this is at the right level, I went ahead and put down a conduit right here along with a note telling people who it belongs to. And if I haven't mentioned this before, this is one of my favorite features of the 1.13 update, is the sound of the conduit. It just sounds lovely and relaxing and calming. And I could sit there for a long time if I wanted to. But we're not going to sit there because we have a job to make. So we're going to start off with the lower floor. So 1, 2, 6. Alright. So this lower floor is going to be entirely out of glass. So we have now finished the bottom layer of our shop, so it's all glassed in right now. I haven't decided if I'm going to have the kelp run down here as well. Oh, another squid. I'll get you in a second. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of floating, but at the same time, it doesn't look bad. So let me know what you think as far as, like, kind of the illusion of everything standing up, or if you think the kelp going down to the bottom is fine. Here, ink. Ah, this one actually had ink. Down here. Hey, you. So we will have to light up under the market at some point in time. Oh, that got real dark. That's why we have, another reason why we have a conduit. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do just like a little bit on the bottom floor as far as just kind of like making it look interesting. I'm not going to do a whole lot right now. I will probably add in some corals and that kind of stuff at a later time. But for now, I kind of just want to get a place where I can set up the chests and kind of get prices going, so that way people can see how much things cost, and I can actually start making them sweet, sweet diamonds. Since the server's been going for almost a month now and I haven't got this set up. So anyway, I'm going to keep going with this and then we will get to work on the second floor. Okay, and so I went ahead and finished this first floor here. Couple nice looking doors on the front. And so this is what the ground floor is going to look like. I added a couple stairs just so that way people know they can go down into this area to look at the chest. I'm going to be putting the conduits in this one along with the pricing. Come back up here. And then this is where the landscaping supply shop is going to be. I'm still looking forward to getting the stuff out of these shulker boxes so that way I can actually use them for their actual purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out exactly where I want to put all the different things, because I have leaves, flowers, and then just kind of miscellaneous decorations. So maybe I'll do the leaves on one side, the flowers on the other, and everything else kind of in the middle, as well as do a little bit of decorating on the inside, just to make it seem a little less plain. Fortunately, I went ahead and also put some prismarine slabs underneath the dirt, so it's easy for me to change the grass out for something else if I want as well. Kind of like what I did last season with my shop. Now I have put together this ground floor right here. I'll probably still end up doing something with the floor, but I ended up taking a fair amount of time not only to put things in their boxes, but I had to grow all of the ferns, and yes, I'm selling grass, don't judge me. It takes time to get that, so and it's only 6 iron per stack. I mean, basically enough to replace the shears that I use. So yeah, so I have my leaves in here. I'll probably end up going back and grabbing more at some point in time. Plenty of oak leaves, actually, just to make it full, because it looks prettier. There we go. And acacia. The only one I'm not doing is dark oak, because not only does it take longer to get the saplings, but the only reason you would get dark oak is for the saplings, otherwise they look exactly the same as oak leaves. So yeah, I'm very happy with how this is turning out. I went ahead and put in some dark oak logs in the corners as well, and by the stairs. I think I'm going to change this out for dark oak now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, it just looks a little bit more structurally sound, for one thing. Oh, not there. And it adds a little bit of variation in the texture of the area. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me, server. Okay, I have an ender chest right here. I will probably move this because it is in a slightly inconvenient location. However, every shop needs to have an ender chest. That's just the way things are. So, we have one in here for now and people can find it. I'm probably going to move that bed upstairs when I get a chance, which reminds me, the last phase of this shop is going to be building the upstairs portion, which will house the offices of Prime Delivery. So let me go ahead and work on that, and I will show you how it turns out. I am pretty happy with how this build has turned out overall so far. I've pretty much finished the third floor, and let me go ahead and show you how it's looking. So nice staircase going up, nice little balcony out here with some seating, nice lights. And then over here is where we have the offices of Prime Delivery. So this is where people will be able to come and say, hey, Aletha, I need, villagers moved to this location, or I would like, 4 zombies in a cage at my base, or something like that. And yeah, they'll be able to fill out a book and kind of let me know what they want. I still have yet to figure out the prices and exactly how I'm going to do that, but for now I went ahead and set up a little display so that way people have an idea of the services that I provide. I managed to get these guys in through the ceiling. It took a few nights of trial and error, but we made it. So here they are, and here they'll stay. So in the meantime, the only other thing that I am missing for this shop to be truly complete is these flowers. So I have the blue orchids because I managed to get a little farm set up for that, but all the rest of the flowers I am in incredibly short supply on. So I am going to go ahead and do a flower farm, and I have just the island to do it on. So this has been the island that I have been working on for a while. Let's go ahead and sleep so that way we can actually see what's going on. It doesn't look like anyone needs the night. I did for a while to get those mobs into my shop, but now, let's see, there we go. Alright, so since I have been sharing a base, well, not sharing a base, but sharing space with Matthew, we went ahead and built up a couple of iron farms, just so that way, we have those resources later on. And I made a villager breeder, and as you'll see momentarily, it worked really, really well. And eventually we're going to have to get rid of most of these guys. I mean, look at that. That's not natural. No, it's not. Don't you nod your head at me. Okay, but that's not why we're here. We are here because of all of these lovely little things. So I went ahead and kind of did a little bit of flower mapping, because if you didn't know, in these spaces, flowers will always bloom in the same blocks. So, like, sometimes you'll get grass, but this space will only ever spawn a red tulip. This space will only ever spawn an orange tulip. So I am going to go ahead and try and figure out the best location for maximizing the number of different flowers that we get. So there's those right there. These are also in a flower forest. There's lots of azure bluets, which is wonderful because they are one of my favorite flowers in this game. There are lots of alliums, and I think the only other thing that we're missing really are the pink tulips, and there's not very many white tulips over there. And so since this mountain hill thing is still considered flower forest, and I don't need this hill for anything, we're just going to take it down. So it's taken a little while, but I managed to finally take the hill down. It is a lot more time consuming when you don't have a beacon, but someday in the very near future I will be getting myself one of those, and that will make projects like these a whole lot easier. So I filled in the dirt, it's grown up, and I have done a little bit of flower mapping to figure out exactly where these things are going to be. So, there are a number of different kind of flowers that I'm going to need to get. I'm not going to worry quite as much about the poppies because I'm going to be getting more of those as I AFK at our iron farm over here. But I need the alliums, the azure bluets, the red, orange, white, and pink tulips, as well as, let's see, is there anything over here that I'm missing? There's different concentrations of things. I went ahead and kind of mapped the different sections. So, let's see. It has daffodils, so I might do one over here. So I finally figured out exactly where I want my flower farms to go. And so I chose this one on this section of the island, and it turns out that instead of building over here with the rest of the flowers, there's actually an island over there that has the oxeye daisies that I'm looking for, along with the purple tulips. Or pink tulips, so I think we're going to end up building one that way as well. Let's go ahead and throw this one together real quick. Let me grab my redstone box, and I don't know why those planks are in my hand, but let's grab that. Red box. And we are going to throw this guy down here. So, I have a 15 by 10 base that's dug down 3 deep. I ended up raising up the size a little bit right here, adding a little bit more sand. But yeah, overall, this will work for our purposes. So, box is going to go right there. I'm going to need redstone, stone torch, a couple of comparators, a couple of repeaters, pistons. Anything else? I don't think so. I think just blocks. So, blocks, cool. Alright, so this is where I've decided that we're going to have our like the front of the farm. So let's see, make sure I have this right in my head. Alright, so this is where our little starting lever is going to go. Yes. Alright, so what I'm going to need is try to do this from memory this time. I think I need, yes, exactly. Okay. So right here in the center, I need a piece of redstone dust. torch. I need 2 hoppers. That's right. Hoppers, who's... How am I not prepared for this? As I'm trying to do this from memory. Okay, so these hoppers need to face into each other. Oh goodness, my lag. Where's my hopper? Oh, it's in the hopper. Silly hopperception. Okay, and then this one right here needs just a block. It could be anything. And so then what we're going to do is we are going to take a comparator output from this hopper right here, followed by a repeater with a delay of 1. That goes into a block. Then I think we just run this down the whole line. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. We're gonna find out if I'm right or wrong. Alright, and then a repeater with no delay on this one, going into a block with more redstone dust. Yep. This is gonna go all the way across. Down to here. Alright, observers. That's what I need next. Why am I not prepared? You know, I'll be right back. I'm gonna make sure I have everything and know what I'm doing, and we'll get back to this in just a moment. Okay, now that I have my head on straight and remember what I'm supposed to do, let's go ahead and finish her off. So I realized that with the redstone here, I had a block here. That is incorrect. So this is just going to be a redstone line that goes all the way down that way, and that side is correct. Alright, so I went ahead and filled in grass here because that's not going to be affected, and also on this line right over here. I was following a tutorial, and so it's a little bit... there's a few little differences in there that I always forget to adjust for. Okay, so next I'm going to be placing some observers down above the redstone, so they're just going to basically just watch this line right here. Do the same exact thing on the other side. Okay, cool. Ah. Ladders. Right there, cool. Great, so then the next thing I'm going to do is a line of pistons just right above that. Kind of see where this is going. And then you're going to put some grass blocks in front of the pistons. We're going to put it all the way across, except for don't do this last line right here, or else you'll end up with pistons that aren't pushing anything. So, I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so with the grass all in place up above, let's do the last little bit of redstone. So we are going to take a comparator comparator output from this hopper right here, and that's going to go into a repeater that is on 2 ticks. Then, great. That's going to go into a block with a dot of redstone above it. Then we're going to do a couple of regular blocks right here. Then what? Yep, and then we're going to take out the block of grass that's right next to each of these blocks. And so that's going to leave room for a couple of dispensers, which you're then going to put facing up into the grass right there, and then just replace that right there. So then we go back down, and all we have to do is fill our dispensers. Need that for a second. That, and there. Oh, must have been missing some. Cool. Then the last thing that we want to do is come back up, and I already put this grass in here, but make a note that right above this block right here with your first dot of redstone, you're going to put another block, probably something that you can easily remember or distinguish, and then put a lever on top, and then the flower farm is good to go. So let's go ahead and turn this on, and watch our frame rates drop. As you can see, where you're getting lots of lovely flowers, and all the seeds we could ever want or not want. And yeah, so then I just run through and collect these ever so often. And there we go, we got lots of lovely flowers in our inventory. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going with this, and maybe build one other farm, and then we can go ahead and get our shop filled up and start making them sweet, sweet diamonds. But for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode here. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're enjoying this series, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you'd like. Then you'll be able to see when the next episode comes out. But until that time, I hope that you have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.